In this video, I'm going to change over the toilet cistern inlet valve because the toilet is not stopping once it's filling up. And I'll show you the seal that's broken in it and why we need to replace the whole part. So the first thing we need to do is just take off the lid. So now you want to flush the system fully. Now I've already flushed most of the water out. But you'll hear it start to refill, and at this point we want to turn off the valve of the water. Okay, so you might have one of these. Mine's actually not working properly, so I'm just going to use a spanner, wrench, and just turn it until the water stops. Okay, now let's get rid of any of the rest of the water. As far as we can go. Okay, so this is what I have in my old system. This is the float, okay, and this is the inlet valve. Okay, so what's meant to happen is that as this raises, this thing pushes back inside down and it stops the water, okay, from rising anymore. But mine's not doing that. Now, what we need to do firstly to get this off is to remove this pin. So grab yourself a pair of pliers. Let's pull this pin out. Probably need to hold on to it with two hands, but I'm holding the camera with one. I've pulled this out many, many times. Okay, so that releases this from here. Now we can open this. And again, make sure that your water is off, otherwise water will start spurting out at this point. Okay, so the first thing that you can try is actually just flipping over. This is the rubber seal that is causing the issue. So what you can actually do is try and just flipping this over, inserting it back in, popping the rod back in, and see if that actually helps. If that doesn't help, then you need to replace this rubber seal and also this little rubber black seal in here. Now I couldn't actually get the right part, they don't make it anymore, so what I need to do is replace this whole section. Alright, so now what we need to do is, I'm going to put this aside, and we actually need to take off the toilet seat so that we can get back to get this piece off, because there's a nut underneath here that we need to loosen to be able to pull this piece out. So let's do that. Now to take off the toilet seat, there is one of these on either side. We need to push in and turn until it pops out. And same on the other side. Okay. And now to get this piece off, there is some plastic screws underneath. So just turning them clockwise on this side. There's one, and I'll just do the other side. And there's the other one. All right, so now we can actually pull this up. There we go. Okay, so slide that forward so that you can get this piece off. You can see that that's in there. Yes, people, it's a dirty, dirty job. Okay, so you just want to pull it towards you. And there we go. Oh my God, that's disgusting. So that actually gives me access to be able to get under here, and you're just going to need an adjustable wrench to be able to undo this. All right, so let's see if we can get this off. Okay, I'm turning clockwise to get this off. Give it a few turns. There we go. And I've also got a little container underneath here. Actually put it a bit more over here to catch any water that falls out, like that. Okay, so there is actually still another piece just here that we need to unscrew as well. Okay, so it needs to go clockwise, and just warning you, it's quite difficult to get it up in there. I've actually lisped it already. Unscrew. Oh, water coming at me all over my phone. Oh crap. If I wasn't blue before, I certainly am now. Okay, once you have drained as much of that water as possible, I've still got the nut underneath here that's holding this on. See? So what I need to do is hold that with one hand and unscrew that with one hand. And there is my piece that I've just pulled out. This is the piece that we're going to replace. All right, so here is our old piece, and this is our whole new section, and it also comes with these three parts. This is called the filter, and it needs to go up inside here first. Sorry, it goes this way around because you want this bit protruding out. Just pop it in there until it's aligned. Okay, so that's our filter in there correctly. Now what we need to do is insert it into the same place where the other one was. And we also need to adjust the height of this to make sure it is the same as this. So it just needs to be 25 mil above the overflow within your system. So the way to go up and down, as you can see some numbers on here. So you just need to push down and keep turning, and you'll hear it clicking, and that's normal. So you want to get it to the right height of what you need it to match yours, okay? Okay, so this is our overflow pipe, and this is where we're going to be putting back in the new piece. So the rubber seal actually goes onto this. We want the flat bit to be sitting flush with the flat bit, like so. And then this bit is going to go on the underside of the toilet and screw back on. It'll be going anti-clockwise. You don't want to over tighten this, otherwise you could crack the cistern. So let's pop it in. There we go. Tighten that up. Okay, so now I can connect the water supply underneath. Okay, so once that's nice and tight, we now want to turn the water back on and just check that there's no leaks coming out. We are leak-free. All right, so now we're going to let the tank fill up. And we also want to make sure that this moves freely. And that if I pull the float up, it stops. Here we go. All right, let's let that fill up. Okay, so my water has just stopped filling, and you can see that it's a little bit too low. So to adjust that, okay, so if I go anti-clockwise, that takes the level of the water down. Sorry, it takes the float down so that the level of water will stop lower. If I turn clockwise, it lets the float come up more to a higher level, and that's as far as I can go. So that's as far as the water is going to come up in mine. So what I can do is I can actually lengthen this whole shaft utilizing that piece that I showed you just before, or I actually think that that is more than enough for my full flush. And I don't want to waste as much water as this cistern had been doing before, so I'm going to leave it at that. Now just put everything back together, cleaning as you go, as well as your hands. Blech. This is the most disgusting job ever, but it's done.
A few moments later.
Beautiful, peace and quiet. Job done. Put that container underneath with that. No, don't drink that. Don't drink that!